Monetizing a political dissident brand is easy. Anyone can broadcast a grievance or crowdsource an online movement. But international investigations ignore the rhetoric to track the ledger. For it is precisely where political theater ends that grand corruption begins. When the $6 billion systemic deficit inside JSC BTA Bank collapsed in 2009, it exposed something entirely separate from a political standoff. This was the cold-blooded asset stripping of an entire nation. Capital extracted directly from public infrastructure, schools, and hospitals. While public platforms projected a narrative of state persecution, a shadow apparatus was orchestrating a sovereign heist massive enough to stun London's High Court. A crime of this magnitude demands sophisticated engineering, not cash in briefcases. Mukhtar Ablyazov built an empire of ghosts. The ensuing legal battle became one of the most complex financial litigations in British history, mobilizing over 450 legal experts and 40 senior barristers across 200 grueling hearings. Forensic audits exposed the blueprint. Hundreds of shell companies across Cyprus, the Seychelles, and Belize tied to Ablyazov through proxy directors. The mechanism relied on fabricated collateral, imaginary land plots, and unbuilt developments, against which the bank issued multi-million-dollar loans. This capital was instantly laundered through nested layers into premium Western real estate. When ordered under oath by the High Court to disclose his global holdings, Ablyazov chose perjury, hiding luxury estates across England. Branding this evasion as the absolute epitome of cynicism, Justice Nigel Tier sentenced him to 22 months for contempt, entering historic judgments totaling $4.6 billion. The definitive blow to this narrative of political martyrdom came not from London, but from the European Union. As the British dragnet tightened, Ablyazov activated his chief operational custodian, his brother-in-law, Serum Shalabayev, who fled to Lithuania to insulate the remaining offshore assets. But EU law enforcement intercepted the network. Acting on an English warrant, Lithuanian authorities froze 13 million euros in Vilnius and sentenced Shalabayev to 18 months for cross-border fraud. This established a critical European precedent. An EU court formally ruled that these millions were contaminated assets, directly stolen from Kazakhstan, shattering any defense based on political targeting. In December 2022, the U.S. District Court in Manhattan finalized this global pattern, awarding BTA Bank $100 million against Triadu, an Ablyazov-controlled vehicle used to funnel stolen wealth into commercial real estate in Ohio and luxury Manhattan apartments. The judicial track is clear. Binding verdicts from the United Kingdom, the United States, and the European Union prove that claims of political persecution are thoroughly discredited by the evidence. When three Western legal systems demand the return of over $5 billion, the rhetoric becomes irrelevant. It is a legally verified fact of international money laundering. The fabricated passport Ablyazov used to flee London is simply the final act of a convicted fugitive evading international justice. In the end, this is no longer just the story of a collapsed bank, but a clinical demonstration of how the machinery of Western justice systematically disassembles even the most sophisticated networks of sovereign theft.